It's Central Valley Business. I'm your host, Steve Walling. My guest for this segment is Jonny Lopez. John is a local artist. John, tell me about your art, man.
Well, I'm a 28-year-old artist here in Fresno. I grew up in West Covina, California. Raised here my entire life.
Yeah.
And I paint primarily with acrylic paints on canvas. I usually build my own canvases and paint. And so I've been doing that for about 12 years now.
About 12 years.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, John, did you have any formal art training, or are you kind of self-developed?
For the most part, I self-developed.
Uh-huh.
I started really when I was young, just drawing, a lot of pencil drawings, things
Right.
like that. Grew up, and as I got older, I got better, started progressing in my art, and it wasn't until high school, really, where my art teacher, when I went to McLean High School here in Fresno, he really kind of took me under his wing a little bit, showed me more of the traditional base in terms of the art history, the techniques it takes to really do great quality artwork.
Now, the thing, working with acrylics is it's a much easier medium than working with oil, of course.
Yeah.
But it also is limiting in time-wise. You gotta work your stuff and get it done. Unlike someone that's doing an oil where they can come back and do whatever.
Exactly.
What is your, when you do your work, what is your forte, if you will? What do you do?
I deal a lot in contemporary art, a lot of photorealistic art.
Okay.
I've really made a name in terms, and that's one of the good things that you brought up, is in terms of the speed and of how acrylics dry fast. I think I've been really able to impress some people in terms of how I use my acrylics, and kind of I fool a lot of people in the fact that they honestly think I use oil paints. Which is, I feel, is a compliment, because because you're able to take a cheaper medium and turn it into something that's more looks more valuable, I guess you can say.
Well,
and you can
no, I wouldn't say that, because acrylic in and of itself, it's its own medium. And it can be just as valuable as it's not as tedious.
It's not as tedious. It is easier to use. It just depends on who you talk to. I've heard a lot of people that really would rather use oil. Exactly. And I've met them. So, but it's just how you work, and I feel like I've accomplished something really good when it comes to using acrylic.
And John, you got a name for yourself here locally.
I've shown a lot in art hops and stuff. I've done my first solo show actually not too long ago.
Where?
Downtown, Liquid Fetish Gallery, which is located inside Broadway Studios.
Cool.
Yeah, so they're starting a whole new thing over there.
Uh-huh.
The curator, his name's David Samuels. I've known him prior. I've done art hops here in Tower,
Right.
and excuse me, this was his first showing in his new gallery, and he had asked me if I wanted to do it. I was the first person he thought of, so I did my first solo show. That was great. It was great. It was it was great exposure. I mean, people really turned out well. And
for you as an artist, man, being there, what did it feel like? I mean, you've been at the art hops, but this is a little different when it's a one-man show.
Exactly. I think I've always been used to doing group shows, so this being my first solo show, it was really awesome to see the turnout that people, they came out just to see my art, personally, and to see me. It really meant a lot to me. It kind of gave me that boost of morale, and really made me feel good about what I was doing. That many people really enjoyed my artwork, so it was really
That's
awesome.
pretty cool, John. Let me ask you: can someone commission you to do work for type of stuff, or is it you do your work and then you sell it?
Well, I do both. Genuinely, you ask most artists, they like to do their own thing,
right,
and express themselves that way, but it's really good to do a lot of commission work, and I do a lot of commission work, and I get approached all the time about doing commissions, and so that's definitely something in my.
What's the general trend in that? I mean, is there particular type?
Usually people want something when they want a commission, they want something a little more personal. I mean, because when you're doing your own thing, it's not everyone can relate to it. Not everyone can understand what you're trying to do. So usually people that come with commissions, they want to have a portrait of the family or a loved one or something like that. So it's more personal.
I got a '69 VW convertible.
There it is. No, I've gotten approached for doing cars and things like that. So
all right, cool. Are you set up on the internet for someone to find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/art by Jonathan Lopez. Also, I'm on Instagram at Jonny Lopez 88. I don't have a website yet, but
But
you
you're
can
gonna
find
get
me
one
there.
up.
Yeah, get one up, and you can find me there, and I do business there all the time. So.
And you do art hop regularly.
Regularly, yeah. As a matter of fact, I just got done doing art hop last month, or actually this past art hop at the Vault downtown, which is located in the Pacific Southwest building.
So, John, and during the art hop, do you move around over each art hop, or do you tend to one location on that?
I do move around a lot. Yeah. Usually, month by month, I'll find different places, and I think that's a good thing because you can kind of spread, and the viewer and everyone can see it.
When's the next art hop coming up that you're going to be in?
I'm not sure yet. I haven't really picked out a spot. I mean, there's a couple of places of people that approach me. I might do something.
So people are approaching you to bring your stuff to
and that's a great thing. Once you get a certain amount of exposure, I think people realize that and see it, and then they actually come up to you as opposed to trying to find your way.
So I got to ask you, do you have any other shows coming up, like gallery shows?
The only thing I really talked about was with the curator from the Liquid Fetish Gallery, the LF Gallery, to possibly do another show next year. Possibly not just a solo show, but a dual show with somebody. So that might be.
All right. Once again, how do we get a hold of you? Facebook page.
Art by Jonathan Lopez.
Art by Jonathan Lopez.
And Instagram at Jonny Lopez 88.
Hey, good deal.
Yeah, thank you.
Congrats. Keep up the good work.
Well, thank you very much.
And don't ever shortchange your acrylic, man. It's great. All right. We'll see you when we come back.